Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Kevin, and in today's video, I want to talk about problems with modern day technology. Now, I don't know about you guys, but it seems like nowadays you can't go anywhere without someone being on their phone, or being on Instagram, or being on TikTok, or any other social media, whether it's when you're at the gym and you're just trying to lift, or maybe you go to a restaurant. I've even seen people scrolling while they hike, while I'm on a hike. So clearly there's a problem in our modern day world, and I think it's time we address it. First of all, you have to think about the dopamine in your brain, right? Dopamine is our brain's reward system, and it makes us do things that feel good. So when you do something that feels good to your brain tells you, hey, I want more of this. So this includes when you exercise or when you eat food, for example, but it also includes when you doom scroll. So you want to be careful there. And you also want to remember that your dopamine receptors can literally get fried. So if you're doing something that feels good, the next time you're gonna have to do more of that thing to get the same reward. And so this is where the idea of delaying gratification comes from, so you don't get stuck in this loop of just constantly filling your brain with dopamine and frying your dopamine receptors, and then not being able to enjoy little things in life like going on a walk, or literally just looking at the sun, or literally just feeling sunlight. And frying your dopamine receptors can also lead to anxiety and depression, and it could kind of lead you to that feeling where you might be at a party or you might be in a room full of people, but you still kind of feel alone and isolated. So you really want to be careful there. Some other things, right? With technology and social media, there's a lot of comparing going on, and there's a lot of egotistical things going on. So you also want to try and stay away from that, because comparison is the thief of joy. And there's also a lot of FOMO going on as well, which stands for the fear of missing out. So you might see someone at a party or some sort of a concert, and you'll get this feeling of,
oh, I wish I was there and I'm not there having fun and enjoying myself.
But you also want to remember that 99% of people that post on social media only post their highlights. They're not going to post their lowlights. They're not going to post when they're going through something. They want to kind of brag and show you, oh, look at me, I'm doing all these things. But in reality, you just got to focus on yourself and your life. And that doesn't mean you can't go to concerts and have fun. You should do all of those things, but you don't necessarily have to post about it. And if someone else is posting about it and it bothers you, you could simply just not view it. And also, where the has our attention span gone as a society? It's hard to even hold a conversation with a modern day person nowadays. You'll talk to them for like 30 seconds, and then their eyes will start wandering everywhere, and they'll look confused, and they'll like have to tap something or play with their necklace or play with their ring on their finger. It's like people can't just sit and have a normal conversation without having to touch something or tweak the out. There's also a big problem when it comes to our thinking and our modern day IQ when it comes to technology. Because now with AI like ChatGPT, or even just relying so much on Google and stuff like that, I feel like our IQ as a society has completely plummeted, because we think to ourselves, why would we need to remember anything when the internet can remember it for us? So we can literally just go on Google and search up and look at anything we want, and we don't have to remember anything. Now, it's good as a resource, right? It's really good as a resource, but you still want to put in the time and the effort to study and actually learn things yourself and actually remember things yourself, so that you don't just use the brain of Google, but you also use your brain yourself. I also feel like people nowadays are much less social because we have our phones right in front of us, and you would think people would be more social, but in reality they're less social. There's less actual in-person interactions going on, and people, like I said, have a really hard time holding a conversation. There isn't as much emotion or passion, and people are far more likely to want to text or call than to actually hang out in person. And also, you may notice that people online curate their lives to be super perfect. Like, you could take celebrities, for example. You might look at them online and be like, oh, they have all this money and these cars and all these cool things. But if you actually hold a conversation with them, you'll realize they are probably the most normal people on earth. They're super average. They just have all these assets and they post about them online. So you don't want to get the wrong idea of people, which is the main problem of social media. You get the wrong idea of people and you don't actually understand what's going on behind the scenes. There's also so much misinformation and fake news going on. And on top of that, when it comes to the news, you always hear about sad things and bad things going on around the world. And this can honestly depress you very much. Me personally, I try to stay as far away from the news as possible, or at the very least, take everything in bits and pieces instead of just binging on the news for an hour straight and then feeling super depressed afterwards. Also, there's a productivity side that comes into play, right? You might get super distracted because of all the technology around you. You might also get unhealthy habits. You're staring at a screen for hours on end, doom scrolling. That's terrible for your eyes. It's terrible for your productivity. You might have a harder time sleeping at night. Stuff like this. And as far as the newer generation is concerned, if you're maybe, 16 or younger, 12 or younger, and you're watching this video,
you are probably
cooked.
I'm gonna be honest. And the reason I say that is because the brain is still developing at an early age, and you guys are being exposed to very bad things on the internet. Additionally, what happened to going outside and literally just playing sports with your friends at the park or anything like that? I look at my younger cousins and they all have iPads and they couldn't care less about being social and they couldn't care less about going outside and actually touching grass. You guys have to remember that attention is the new currency, and the most valuable asset in your life that you're ever going to have is your time. So spend your time wisely. If that even means not watching my videos, then click off. That's completely fine with me. But that's why I try to curate my videos to actually be helpful rather than to be just completely
brain rot.
And yeah, guys, that's probably going to do it for this video. This video was kind of more of a rant, if I'm being honest, but I just wanted to kind of put that out there. And I want to read your guys' comments on this and see what you guys think. I don't know, maybe I'm the crazy one, but you got to remember that tech was literally designed to be addictive, and they use your attention as currency to fuel their actual currency. So you guys got to keep that in mind. And obviously, everything in moderation, right? I'm not saying you can't watch a YouTube video or you can't scroll for a little bit, or you can't rest and just chill or play video games. I'm not going to be the type of person to tell you not to do that, even though I'm super into self-improvement. So have your fun, but just don't get lost in the sauce. And with that being said, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Be sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm out. Peace!